Everyman Driver Nation, here it is, your 2016 Honda Odyssey, which comes in 8 trim levels. 8 trim levels. We have the SE, which stands for Special Edition. I hope you had a chance to watch Melissa's Just Arrived first look video last week, where she gave us some engine numbers, gave us a look inside first, second, and third row, as well as cargo room, and she left it up to me to do the detailed drive and review. So that's what we're doing today. Let's get started first by popping the hood. Good news when it comes to engine options with the Odyssey. There is only one, so no option. This is what you get regardless of which trim level you go with. You're looking at a 3.5 liter V6 mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, 248 horsepower. That's pretty good. And 250 pound-feet of torque, so it does have some power. Good thing, right? And it does have 3,500 pounds of towing capacity. Not bad. This vehicle weighs 4,500 pounds. A lot of numbers, I know. Fuel economy numbers have been disappointing, to say the least. It gets 19 city, 28 highway. That's the projected MPG. When they drove this vehicle over from Seattle, the trip counter showed 23 miles per gallon in mixed driving. That was about 280 miles. And most of that, if not 95%, was on the highway, so still well below the 28 projected. Our experience this week has also been somewhat disappointing. We've put about 150 miles on it so far, and most of it has been around town, but still 17 miles per gallon in mixed driving. Wish it was better, and I'm sure Honda does too. By the way, regular unleaded is the recommended fuel type. If you notice here on the key fob, there are some pretty cool buttons there, lock, unlock, and then 2 side doors that can open based on what you have here in the key fob. This also has a smart key entry system, which means if I lock the vehicle, it's locked. All I have to do is put my hand in the door handle to open it up, as long as I have the key fob on me. So that's right here. Now it opens, close it up. Now, if you're outside, I want to open up this side door here. I press the button, the door opens, and there is a little button here on the inside that lets you close it if you want to walk away. And I'll open that side because I'm going to walk around and show you some interior legroom. As you all know, I'm 5'11", and here's how much room I have between my knees and the back of the driver's seat, and this was my position as a driver up front. So tons. By the way, this is an 8-passenger vehicle. It's 7 passengers in the lowest trim level, but the other 7 trim levels have seating for 8. And you can take this middle row seat out. I should address this camera. There's a lever you pull down here. You can actually just take the seat out and give yourself a little bit of an aisleway to make your way back to the 3rd row seats. More on that in a moment. Headroom, wow, this is cavernous. Quite a bit of space between your head and the roof line for my height. I'm sure you'll have no problem for the taller people out there who might be interested. There is some compartment room behind the driver's seat and the passenger seat. There are plenty of cup holders throughout. There's 2 right here, 2 up front for the driver and passenger. And watch this. Fold this down. There are 3 cup holders here in the center, plus a spot if I wanted to put my keys right there. So there you go for that. Pull this lever again, push it back. So in terms of 8 people that can sit in this car, let's say the middle row, I move right here. You know, it's still good. Can I move this up? Move that up. And I'm comfortable here in the middle seat. And then one more over here, and I still got plenty of room. This is identical, of course, to what you would have behind the driver. And this is really nice. There's a rear entertainment system. They call it the RES. So they drop this down. This is a 9-inch screen, but you can get it as large as 16 inches all the way across. And there's also some wireless headsets down there, so you can have people listen to this without having to disrupt the rest of the cabin. There's also a remote control that you pop down as well. So that's pretty cool. There are a couple of adjustment options you can make in the 2nd row to make your way to the 3rd row, and you can see them right here on the side of the chairs here. One, you can pull this lever and it leans forward all together like that, and now you can make your way to the back. Or you can pull this lever, and once it comes down, it slides forward. So we'll go ahead and use that option and show you what the 3rd row looks like in terms of legroom and headroom. Well, I hope that camera can see me all the way back here in the third row. Spacing is great. No matter how tall you are, unless you're a professional basketball player, 6'6" and above, there's plenty of space in the third row for adults as well as the kids, obviously. And I can slide between spots all the way across, and I'm pretty darn comfortable. And these seats are comfortable as well. They're not too low to the ground, which is some concern in other vehicles, but not this one at all. And there's some more cup holders on either side for passengers back here. And there's even an outlet that you can plug in for a real outlet, as well as headphone jacks. So if you want to listen to what's going on the rear entertainment system. I'm going to go handheld here as we look at the cabin, and starting off with the center stack, which I like. Up here, this is an 8-inch screen. Down below is the 7-inch, and below here, this is the touchscreen option, whereas up top, it is not. Over here, you have your climate controls, so you can set all that for the front and the rear. You can sync them as well. Down here, all the dials for switching between channels and stuff, which you still also have here on the steering wheel, because those are your usual suspects right there. Bluetooth technology, cruise control, and so on. One thing I want to show you down here, well, a couple of things actually. This is have a USB port, which I charge my iPhone with. There's also a power outlet there, auxiliary jack, rear entertainment system, DVD player, and this is your lower storage bin. And it does come with a cool box in the top 3 trim levels as standard. I'm just keeping a bottle of water down there for now, but nice little storage spot. 2 cup holders, obviously, and this storage bin here in the center, super deep. There's even a spot behind there, so that's kind of nice. I know Melissa really liked this middle section here for a purse. Lots of extra space down below, very family oriented. Instrument cluster, pretty decent. 4 main dials, engine temperature, RPM, a little bit of a center spot right there showing your trip counter, outside temperature, miles per hour, of course, and your fuel gauge. Over here on the left-hand side, well, you'll find the spots to open and close the side doors, which again is on your key fob, as I showed you earlier. Traction control on or off, that option's there. And all your good stuff here on the door panel for opening windows and locking the doors, and the side mirror. Speaking of the side mirror, one of my favorite features over here on the far right. Oh, there's one angle. Here's another angle from outside. You can see there on the bottom right part of the rear side mirror is a camera. So that is part of Honda's lane watch system. So when you turn right, using this button right here, turn right, you see what's to your right. I love it. Pops up here on the 8-inch screen. Now, there's also the option of just pressing the button. If you don't want to turn, just want to press it. You can also see what's going on the right-hand side. The visibility is fine back here. Let me turn the camera around. I haven't found visibility to be much of an issue, and I really like the Honda lane watch system, so just in case I don't want to turn right because the vehicle is pretty long, I can just use that option to see what's to the right of the vehicle. But you can see here, it's pretty deep. There is one headrest that is blocking the back window, but for the most part, I find this pretty safe. And of course, there's also a rear backup camera, which is standard on all vehicles in 2016 moving forward. So backup camera is great for that. There is no sliding sunroof right here for the front 2 passengers. I wish that was there. Maybe it's on a higher trim level, not sure, because I'm just focused on the SE trim level, the special edition. And there's no sliding sunroof as well for the middle or back row passengers. But there's something nice here. They call them integrated sunshades for the middle row passengers. Just pull those shades up and you can keep the sun out, which is not a concern on a day like this. Now, when Melissa did her Just Arrived video, she pointed out that there was no button here in the key fob to open the tailgate. In fact, a power tailgate is standard on the top 3 trim levels, not RSE, even though it is a special edition. So once the vehicle is unlocked, we just press a soft pad below the Honda icon and it opens up. Now, there is tons of space behind this third row of seats. You're looking at over 38 cubic feet of volume, so much so, as Melissa showed you, you can sit back here and you can be human cargo, but there's really no problems with space. And you can fold these bad boys down, which you do, and they can collapse this way. They call it a magic seat. And now you're looking at over 93 cubic feet of volume behind now the second row of seats. Now we can create even more cargo volume by folding down the middle row, and when we do that, we're looking at 145.5 cubic feet of volume for your cargo volume. This next feature I would call a fan favorite, but in this case it's more like a family favorite, and that's the Honda vac system. And you can pull this latch right here, open it up, and take out a vacuum cleaner hose which can reach all the way to the front. So if you do have some spillage because the young ones are spilling their Cheerios, this will take care of it. Or if you have a mountain bike like I have and you put it back here and it gets a little dirty, just suck up all that dirt and rocks and you're good to go. And that's a look at your cargo volume in the back of the 2016 Honda Odyssey. I don't know if I'm showing my age, but both Melissa and I were talking after we did our Just Arrived video about, I'd actually buy this car. I can't imagine in a 1,000 years that I would say, yeah, I would take a family 8-passenger hauler as a family car. In fact, I'm more along the lines of a Honda Pilot if I stayed in the Honda family, not so much an Odyssey, but it's a good drive, very smooth. It somewhat floats while you're driving, very easy to steer, even though it's a long, big, heavy vehicle. I think it's pretty comfortable to drive, and I've had no problems with it. It's got enough little power behind it as well. I told you 248 horsepower, 250 pound-feet of torque. So it's really easy to drive. I like it, and comfortable, spacious, and great for a large family or maybe even a small basketball team. So the MSRP range here on the 2016 Honda Odyssey is between $30,000 and $45,000 depending on which trim level you go with and how many upgrades you give it. This is definitely a great family car and most certainly worth a look and absolutely a test drive. Until next time, I'm Dave Erickson with Everyman Driver. Thanks for watching.